Everyone. So first off, I think I will do it this way. I will introduce myself, and then we'll pass it to the other guys to do an introduction. So good evening. I am Oladayo. I'm Oladayo Oladipupo. I'm a blockchain data analyst, and I've been on this journey for quite a while. More like I've been on the data journey for like this is 2026, so let's say something around 5 to 6 years. But on the blockchain side, I've been in and around for like 3 years, and that is why I'm here to help us navigate blockchain, like blockchain data analytics. So I would like to also hear each and every one of us. I would like us to introduce ourselves. What's maybe our journey in data analytics right now? I mean, it doesn't necessarily you don't necessarily have to have started something, and if you've started something too, you can just let us know. But let us know where you are right now when it comes to analytics. So yeah, so who's going first? Okay, let me start with
Maybe,
okay.
yeah, just call their names.
let me start with let me start with Samuel. Samuel Guerra. Are you there, Samuel?
Hello,
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
I'm Samuel Ogera from Kenya. I'm not really a student. I'm from the Stellar team. I'm
Oh,
here to record attendance and
okay.
make a
Okay.
report.
Okay, I guess the people with XLM are from the Stellar team, right?
Only me, but the others are students.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Sandra.
Hello, good
Hi.
evening, everyone. My
Hello.
name is my name is Sandra, right? I'm a graduate. I'm a fresh graduate. I just graduated this year in software engineering, and what got my attention most during my university studies was data, right? So yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm from Cameroon. Yes. So
Oh, nice. Nice to have you, Sandra. The next person, Jaira. Are you there, Jaira? Okay, if Jaira is not there, Jean. Jean, can you introduce yourself? Is Jean there? Okay, if Jean is not here, I guess he is from Helicode. So Emily, I
Great. I greet you.
good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Are you hear me?
Yes, you're audible. You're audible.
Okay. My name is Emir from Burundi.
Okay, Emil, okay.
Uh, Emir Ndaikengurukiye from Burundi.
Okay.
At the university, I study psychology, and I
Okay.
am happy to be in this group. Thank you.
Okay. It's nice having you too.
Yeah.
Um Cecina. I think the next person is Cecina.
Hello everyone, my name is Cecina Njoki. I'm from Kenya and I'm a student. I am here because I've been interested in data analysis for a while, but the resources out there are so scattered and people have different paths on data analysis. So I started on most, but they get to a point and they start getting confusing or going too fast.
Yeah,
And
okay.
that's why I came here for a more structured way of learning. And I'm here under Stella.
Okay. It's nice having you here. It's nice having you here. So is Jean available now? Jin and Jaira, are you available?
Please, if you guys can't speak, you can use the chats in the
The chat
classroom
box.
chat. There's a chat under here, so just use the chat to introduce yourself, so we know you're part of us. Jean and Jerry, I hope you guys can hear us. So just give a sign if you can hear us. Type a message or something. Let us know you're part of us. Is that okay? Jean, Mary, and Jerry. Well, without them, we can still go ahead, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess they are not so available. Yeah, so anyways, thank you all for the introduction. So I think from what I can pick up, all of us we are majorly beginners. We are just getting started, and probably for few people, they've probably tried their hands around analytics, and it looks a little bit confusing. So I think we'll be able to get it well here. So right here, we are going to be learning data analytics, and we'll be majorly tailoring it around blockchain analytics right now. So the way this course is that we are going to have classes on Tuesday, as we're having right now, and we're also going to have class on Thursday at the same time. So it's going to be twice in a week. And by the end of this course, the focus is that we will be able to, on our own, be able to take on analytics projects ourselves, especially blockchain analytics projects. So our journey will majorly be around um, understanding the basics of analytics, like understanding the basics of data analytics. Then from there, would go the route of understanding SQL, because right now SQL is like is one of the most important um, query language to use when you are querying data, especially. So we're going to learn SQL. Then from there, we are going to be making use of Dune Analytics. Dune Analytics is one of the platform that allows you to query blockchain data, and they have as much as possible blockchain data that can be used. So we'll be making use of blockchain analytics. I mean, Dune analytics rather, and it's actually going to be a very very interesting journey. I know a lot of us we are looking forward to it. It's going to be very very interesting, and I always like that during the class you take as much as possible notes as possible so that you go back to it. So another best way to do it in the I guess by the time we get into understanding Dune analytics is to take on practice ourselves, like taking on as much as possible practice. I would send exercises during the course of the class. I mean, during the course of each of these classes, but it will also do us um, a lot of good to practice ourselves. It will also do us a lot of good to practice ourselves, because when you practice yourself, you tend to understand some of these things much more better. So before we go ahead, I think someone just joined. Abigail, Abigail, can you quickly, introduce yourself? Abigail, can you introduce yourself?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hi Abigail. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I am with the Helicode team. I'm here to take the attendance and make
Oh,
sure the class is going on smoothly.
oh, okay. Thank you. Then, Jonathan,
Hmm?
can you introduce yourself, please, Jonathan? Jonathan, are you there? Okay. Okay. If Jonathan is not here, I think we should just go ahead. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. I'll be sharing my screen. I am hoping that we can see my slide. I'm hoping that we can see my slide. Is my slide visible, please? I just want to know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can see a
Yeah.
slide.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So today we'll.
Jonathan, can you mute your mic?
Hello.
Or you want to introduce yourself? Go ahead with the intro.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jonathan Kahira from Burundi.
Okay. Is this your
Yeah.
first time in? Is this your first time around data analytics, or you've been in and around it?
So network is very bad. Is very weak.
Okay, no problem. You can
That is why.
you can probably just mute your mic. You can mute your mic.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So yeah. So today we are basically going to go around the introduction of um, data analytics. I am going to share a Notion page. Okay. I'm trying to see if his mic is muted. Oh, there's no way I can mute. Okay, so I'm going to share this slide, and I'm also going to share a Notion page. Actually, I would have loved to use the Notion page actually to teach class, but I guess I just need to summarize it and put it in a slide, and that is why we have this slide. So we've had data analytics, we've had it at different points in time. We've heard people talk about analytics, we've heard people talk about data. So the first thing is, what is data? Is there anyone that will probably want to help out? Is there anyone that has like, is that a question? Is there anyone that wants to? Okay, there's a mention of me. Okay. Is there anyone that wants to help out? Okay, if there's no one, so basically, data is just the collection of raw facts. That is basically what data is. It's a collection of raw facts, and by raw facts, it is the same thing we have like everywhere. So our raw facts could be in numbers, it could be pictures, it could be videos, it could be in words, it could be observation. As a matter of fact, so far during this class, there is more like a sequence of data collection. Maybe, for example, now, based on my observation in this class, I think we have more people. I know it's just two people, but I think we have more people from Burundi compared to other countries if you are removing the tutors. So that is an example of collecting data. So data is just collection of raw facts, and it can sometimes be this data can sometimes be in different formats. Like I said, our pictures, the pictures we have on our phone, they are data collection. The numbers, their data collection, the text. If we type in the group chats now, for example, it's an example of data collection because we can decide that, okay, in this group chat, who are, for example, who are the most responsive member in this group chat, or it could be what is the most talked about word, or what is the most used word in this class. It's an example of data. It could also be what time is the most active moment in this chat, for example. It's also a data collection. So data generally are just collection of facts, and they can be in different formats. So every day we make use of data at every point in time. Walking, when we walk, probably when we, for those that go to gym, probably when you go to the gym and all of that. Even on your phone, we have applications that counts the steps we take per time. So we have this record of, okay, this is the number of steps this particular person has taken throughout today. It's an example of data collection. It's an example of data collection. So we take data everywhere. When we go to buy things, when we move from one location to another, it is an example of data collection. So in our daily life, when we run a transaction, for example, if I send money from my account now to your bank account, it's I'm transacting data. What I just did was send a particular form of data to you. When we have calls, like the people who call, it's an example. Our social media likes and comments, they are a curated form of data collection. If you go on tweet on X now, there is an analytics page on X that shows, okay, for this particular post, these are the number of people that like, this is the location of people that are liking your post, this is the age of the people liking your post, this is like the gender of the people liking your post. So all of these are example of data in our day-to-day life. The same way it happens in the general in our normal day life. The same thing happens in blockchain too. So in blockchain, we have collection of data when we run a transaction, when we send money from one wallet to another. That's a transaction. That's more like a data that has a footprint of the sender and the person sending it. Our wallet addresses are data because we can map out different wallet addresses. For example, in this class now, we can decide to collate the wallet address of each and every member of this class, and we can go ahead and see, okay, the number of transactions they've done, when they've done this transaction, when their most active transaction, what their biggest transaction had been so far, and maybe the time of the day they try to run transaction at different points in time. So that's an example of data in the blockchain space. It's also token transfer, maybe when you make use of decentralized exchanges, when you transfer token from one contract address to another. It could also be contract address calling. When you call contract address, there are different data that are emitted when you do that. So various examples of these are various examples of data collection that happens every day, both in real life and also in the blockchain space. So when it comes to data, we have like two types of data. We have the structured data and we have the unstructured data. So structured and unstructured is just dependent on the form in which they are. So for example, some data that we have or some data that we collate, they for some of them they are probably in their raw format that is very, very raw. For example, now your if you check your WhatsApp for those, or let me not use WhatsApp, let's use this Discord account now. This Discord account, I can decide to export all of the chats that we have in this Discord account. The form it would be in would not be structured, would might most likely have text, we'll have pictures, we might have videos that are exported, and we are also going to have chats from different persons. This particular data is unstructured, that is, there is no actual structure to it. It is probably when we now decide to collate each and every of those data in table formats. In table it means in rows and columns. That is, we decide to say, okay, this particular person's chat, okay, for example, Finn's chat, every of the message Finn has sent to this group, this is the collation of every of those messages by Finn. That is a structured data. We've decided to structure it down into a table of Finn's tweet or Finn's message. We can decide to say, okay, every of Jean's video, maybe Jean has decided to send video on this group, we can decide to collate every of those video and make it structured such that we know that, okay, when we are talking about video by Jean, this is where we are going to find it. So we have two types of data. We have the structured data and we have the unstructured data. So structured data are those that are organized in rows and columns. An example is probably, if you use Excel very well, data that are collated in Excel can more like be classified as a structured data, we've been able to structure it so that we know where each and every of those data where they belong. By the time we start using Dune Analytics, we'll find out, for example, Dune structures each and every blockchain data that we have. For example, if you are looking for data table of, say you are looking out for, what's it called now? You are looking for Ethereum transfer. So you are looking for the Ethereum transfer that is done by a particular wallet, over time. Dune has that transaction record. So before I continue, you can check the group. I think there is an attendance form on the group for everyone, for every of the students available on this group. You can check the attendance form in the general group and fill it up. So yeah, so I'm talking about the structured data and unstructured data. So those are like the two types of data that we have. So why exactly is data important? You might ask that. Why exactly is data important? One of the core reasons why data is important is that you are able to understand what is happening. So what do I mean by this? For example, now I'm going to be using the blockchain as like the blockchain technology as a very very good example, and I'm also going to use a real life event too. Say for example, now you have a road that people pass through every day. Let's say for example, let me use airline for example. Maybe you want to check out the records. Maybe you've always want to understand the route people pass the most, for example, or you want to understand the number of people that come into a particular country. So maybe, for example, you want to find out the number of people that are coming in from Lagos to Kigali, for example, in Rwanda, or you want to compare and contrast the record of people coming from different countries into a particular country. Maybe you want to find out the people coming from Lagos to Kigali, you want to find out people coming from Burundi to Kigali, people coming from Cameroon to Kigali, for example. Now, you want to understand what is happening. You want to understand what exactly, how many people, like what exactly is the in-depth details, or maybe on Discord now, you want to understand, okay, what are the number of messages we have on this Discord chat every day? What is the average record? That is, okay, every day, what is the possibility of the number of records that we are going to have? And what this does is it probably makes you envisage, or maybe make you think about what is possible. For example, now, if a government wants to create like a budget, maybe a budget for the next year, for the next fiscal year, for example, they before they create that budget, they would have to have collected maybe a data of what they spent this particular year. If they've spent something around $2 trillion now this year, it would not make sense for them when they are preparing next year's budget to go below that, because they understand and know that this year this was the amount that was spent in general this year. So they are, because of the data they have, because of the details. So data is basically just details that you have in that sense. So because of the details they have, they are able to plan like futuristically that, okay, because we spent this amount this year, there is a high possibility that this is the amount we are going to be spending next year. So it also helps you in planning. So it also helps you in measuring performance. It helps you measure performance. You're able to know, maybe you work in a particular place and they have like a KPI for you. This is what, maybe they want you to reach out to 100 persons. They want you to reach out to 100 person. By the end of today, you must have reached out to 100 person. So they want to check each and every member of that organization that have been able to meet that quota for that particular day. So based on the data records that they have, they're able to know, okay, this particular person was able to do 60 out of 100. This particular person is able to do 120. That is, the person is able to go beyond the 100 target that they've set. So they're able to measure each and everybody's performance based off the data that is available. So that is another reason why data is available. why data is important. With data also, you are also able to detect when there is a problem. Say you have like a sales store, you have a sales store or a mall where they sell something now, and based off the data that you have, maybe of the transaction that happens every day, maybe you are able to detect days when the numbers are very low. So when the numbers are very low, you are easily able to know that, okay, I think there's a problem this particular day, and you are probably able to note what the problem is that particular day. So maybe you're able to note that, okay, this particular day, maybe the previous day, maybe from Monday now, for example, from Monday last week, you've been averaging sales around maybe 2 million per day. And then you now find out that at the end of today, or for like consistently for like the next 3 days, your sales have now dropped to say $500,000 instead of 2 million that it was like the previous consecutive days. Then it means that there is a problem. You'll be able to know that what exactly has happened here. Why exactly am I having low sales in this particular day? You will not be able to know that if you are not collecting data. So if you don't have those data, if you don't have those records and details, there is no way you'll be able to know that, okay, I think there's a problem here that I need to look out for or that I need to note. So it is when you collect those data, and with that data, when you analyze those data, you are now able to see that, okay, I think there's a problem here, or maybe the reason the sales are down is because probably your ads, the advertisement you've been running, maybe it stopped, and probably that's why you've been having low sales over time. So that is another importance of why data is important. So with data also, you are also able to make decisions. You're able to make decision. You're able to think about, okay, based off this now, what should I do? Okay, you've had low sales over the last couple of days. You've probably been able to note the problem why you have that problem. So you're able to make a decision of, okay, maybe I need to engage more influencers, maybe I need to engage my customers, maybe I need to take in feedback from my customers, or maybe I need to run more advertisements. All of those different things you need to be able to like with data you are able to like make informed decisions. You are able to make informed decisions. So you don't, with data, when data is available, when you make decision, it's not just going to be a guesswork. Like you won't just be guessing that, okay, let me do this, let me do that. But with data, you are able to make informed decision because you know why. You are able to see the numbers, you're able to see the details, you're able to see where there is a drop, and you're able to make a decision of that. For example, in the crypto markets now, you are able to know when you should probably be, say for example, sell off, or you're able to know when you should be buying based off the volume that is available at that point in time. Probably you do an analytics and you are able to check, okay, this is like the average volume that has been happening in the market over the course of this particular period. Maybe you notice that based off historical data, you notice that when it gets to this particular point in time, for example, in the crypto market, anytime it's getting towards like say Chinese New Year, for example, now there is always a dump that happens in the market. It has always happened historically, that is from previous years, and it had probably been linked to that Chinese traders are off the market at that point in time. They are probably celebrating their new year and holiday. So it always affects the market. So with this, you're able to know that this particular time, I have to reduce my risk in the market. I don't have to pull all of my resources into the market because of the information that you have based off the data that you have. You're also able to know that, okay, this particular time, maybe at this particular point over the day, maybe by 7 p.m., you have more people trading because of the volume that is available. Probably is linked to a lot of people being awake across the globe. So you'll be able to make informed decision with data. You will not just be able to do things guesswork. It will reduce your risk when you have data, and that is why data is very very important. So um, the next thing is now is what is data analytics? We've talked about data. We've talked about data as a raw fact. So now, what is data analytics? So data analytics is just the process of now is the process of now finding meaning to this raw facts. So you have the raw facts scattered across board. You have the numbers, you have the text, and all of those things. The next thing you want to do is to be able to find meaning from all of this data, like all of these numbers that you have. You want to find a pattern, you want to be able to find meaning from these things. You want to move them from just being like normal raw facts or normal details. You want to move them into a proper, concise decision. You want to be able to make decision. So with data analytics, you have your normal raw facts, I mean your raw data, your text, your numbers, and all of that. Now the next thing you want to do is now organize those data, maybe in tables. You want to organize them in tables. You want to organize them in whichever form. You want to make it a structured data. You want to make it structured. Then from there, you are now able to make like meaningful insights. You're able to pick out, you're able to probably create a dashboard or a graph or whatever it is. You're able to pick out the numbers, the important numbers from the data you've just organized, and then you're able to make smart decisions. So these are the process of data analytics. Data analytics help you make meaningful insight. Actually, the first thing data analytics helps you with is make meaningful insight from numbers. Then after making this meaningful insight from numbers, you are now able to turn this insight into a smart decision. You are able to pick up these numbers, pick up these details, and you are able to make up very good decision from these numbers. That is, analytics does not end at just at just getting meaningful insight. I mean, it doesn't do anything to be able to know that, okay, this is the amount I've spent. For example, okay, if you check your bank app, for example, now for some bank apps, there's like a record of this is the amount that you've spent throughout this month so far. And in some cases, they probably break it down into, okay, this is the amount that goes into data, the amount that goes into electricity, the amount that goes into TV, internet, and the whole likes. With that, you're able to like, so from now have a meaningful insight of what is taking your money. Probably the reason you've spent so much is that probably you are buying a lot of data, or the reason you are spending so much is probably you are spending too much on transportation or whatever it is, or probably you are spending too much on food. So with that, you are now the next step would now be for you to be able to make smart decision. Okay, maybe I need to cut the amount I'm spending on food. Maybe I need to do more I need to cook myself than probably buy food, or maybe I need to explore other means of transportation instead of the one I'm currently using. So the end point of an analytics is to be able to make smart decision. So it does not end at getting the data, it does not end at organizing the data, it does not end at even getting a meaningful insight. It ends at making smart decision from your data. So now there are four main types of data analysis. There are four main type of data analytics or analysis as the case may be. The first one is descriptive analysis. Descriptive analytics, it's basically a surface level. It basically just checks surface level parts of analytics that checks what happened. So what descriptive analytics does is that it checks what exactly happened. Say for example now, you have a store data, like you have like a supermarket store. I'm using a supermarket because I think it is relatable to every one of us. So you have a supermarket store and you have all of the numbers. Maybe the first thing you want to check is the first thing is that what happened. That is when you check the records. Okay, what happened? Why do we have low sales in December? Or why do we have high sales in December and then all other months we have lower sales? That is what descriptive analytics does. So for descriptive analytics, it is very useful for business and individuals to be able to get an overview of how their business had performed over the course of a particular period. You're able to see where the lapses are. You're able to see where the good parts are. So that's basically what descriptive analytics. That is basically what it does. So it helps with what happened to summarize um, past data. So the next type is diagnostic analytics. So why descriptive analytics? Why it talks about what happened? Am I still audible? I heard the sound now. Okay. So why descriptive analytics talks about what happened? Diagnostic analytics talk about why did it happen. So it's like an investigation. So with diagnostic analytics, it's more like you running an investigation to know, okay, why did this happen? So maybe why you have high sales in December is because okay, it's Christmas period and we have sales around this period. Or maybe why you have low sales in December is because a good number of people that will probably have purchased your goods have traveled to their hometown or to their country, or they've gone on holiday to another country. And so it means probably your high purchasing customer are not available. So it's you diagnosing why exactly you're having low sales, or why exactly you're having high sales, or why exactly the advert you run on a particular social media platform is not converting to customers, or why exactly um, a particular pattern. It's just basically to know why exactly a particular pattern is reoccurring or is showing up. So that is what diagnostic analytics does. So it is useful for business to understand why certain events happen in the past and be able to understand the reasons behind those events, and from that you are able to like make an informed decision. So now the next thing now, after you've diagnosed, you know what happened, you know why it happens, the next thing is now predictive analytics. So for predictive analytics, it's like what is likely to happen. So because you've been able to have a pattern, you've been able to like have a record. Say you are collecting weekly data now, you know from the data that okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe my Tuesday and my Thursdays are when I have the highest sales. So when you are planning, you already know that for next week, because you've been able to see the record that over the course of like 52 weeks, the data you've collected over 52 weeks, you've had a particular pattern that's shown that every of these 52 weeks, Tuesdays and Thursdays are always the busiest. It means in the future, where it is most likely also going to happen next week because it has been what has been happening over time. So just like the name suggests, it's more like tries to predict what is likely to happen in the future. And this is where you are able to like derive an actionable information for the company. Maybe you are working for a company and based off their data, you've been able to check what happened, you've been able to check why it happens. You are also able to foretell that there is a higher possibility that over the course of this, or based off what you've done here, there is a high chance or high probability that this is the result you are going to have. You'll be able to more like predict the result you would have following the sequence of what had happened over the course of say months or weeks that we have. Then the fourth part, which is the final type of data analytics, is the prescriptive analytics. Now you know what happened, you know why it happens, you know what is likely to happen. So prescriptive analytics basically recommends what what you should do. That is what you should do based off the information you have. So how you can take advantage of, okay, this is what is likely going to happen. You likely know that, okay, this particular time is when the volume is high in the market. So with that, you're able to prescribe, you're able to know, okay, because these are the time when the market volume is high, I think I should trade more in this particular time zone or this particular time period. Or you know that, oh, this is when the market gets low, like there is low volume or there is low transaction, then you're able to make a decision that, okay, what you should do at this particular time is probably to trade less and observe more instead of trading more because of the information that you have. So basically, prescriptive analytics, you use it to provide recommendation on actions that you should take so that you'll be able to achieve a particular outcome. You're able to because you already know what is likely to happen, and then you'll be able to achieve a particular outcome. So, having talked about that, because we are tailoring this towards blockchain analytics. So you want to understand what blockchain analytics is. So blockchain analytics is basically for you to analyze data on blockchain, like just sequencing it to blockchain data. You're able to understand the network activity, that is the number of transactions that happens. Maybe, for example, we want to know the number of transactions that happens on Stellar. For example, we want to know how many DEX transaction has happened on Stellar today. You're also able to know like user behavior. That is, as much as we don't know individual on blockchain, but you're able to know people based off their wallet address. So you are able to know, okay, this particular person, based on this person's behavior, this person is probably a whale because of the number of transactions they do every day. So you're able to know user behavior. You're also able to know the token movement, so the volume of a particular token over a particular period of time and all of those things. So because blockchain data is public, and this helps us to be able to analyze blockchain records and blockchain data effectively. So we're able to analyze, like I said, sender's address, receiver's address, the amount they receive, the time they received it, the fee, transaction hash. By the time we start using Dune Analytics, by the time we start using Dune Analytics, we'll be able to see all of these things in effect. We'll be able to see how this data, how they come in play. And since every transaction in blockchain is traceable, the data is transparent and you cannot change the data. So whatever has been recorded right now cannot be changed. So that makes it a very, very good place to start. That is, if I run a transaction now and it's recorded on blockchain ledger, it does not change forever. That number is there forever and ever, like till eternity, till the record stands. So blockchain data, they don't change, they are there forever. So next thing, I'm going to give room for question. By the time I'm done with this, I'm going to give us room to ask a question. I know that probably for some of us, we have questions that we want to ask during the course of this. So the next thing now is the process of analyzing the data. So, like I said, data are raw information. So you have information you want to analyze. So the first thing you want to do is to define the questions you want answers for. So this is what would determine the data you are going to collate, or this is what is going to determine the direction of your analytics or whatever you want to do. So the first thing is to define the questions you need answer for. Say for example, if the questions I need answer for is, okay, I want to know how much I am spending per day, for example. I want to have a record of how much I'm spending per day. So it means by dividing the question, this is what I need an answer for. Or maybe how much sales am I making, or how much profit am I making from my sales. So based on this question that I've asked, that is what will now determine the next step that I will take. The next step I will take now will now be to collect the data that are related to the question I'm asking. So if I'm asking the question of sales for my business, so it means the data I will be collecting would be around, okay, I want to collect maybe first off, I want to have a data of of my inventory, the goods I have, every of the product that I have in my store. I want to have the record. I want to have the record of how much I bought each one of them. I want to have the record of the quantity of those things that I bought. I want to have all of those records that okay, for this is the amount, this is the quantity I have. So then the next thing you probably want to collect the data of sales. You want to know, say for example, if the question you want to have an answer to, if the question, maybe the question you want to have an answer to is basically not about profit. Maybe the question you want to have an answer to is about, maybe you want to create like a loyalty reward for your customer now. If you want to create a loyalty reward for your customer, it means you have to, the data you'll be collecting will be around your customer. So it will be around, you probably want to know the name of your customer. If possible, maybe you want to know their location, you want to know the number of their volume, like the number of sales, I mean, the number of product they are buying from you. You probably want to know how frequent they buy from you and all of that. And that will probably inform what you want to do. That will inform, okay, this particular customer is my top customer. They've been here consistently because based on the record you have, based on the data that you've collected, you've been able to see that, okay, this particular person comes to my store every day to buy things. So the data you will collate will be dependent on the question that you need answers for. The question you need answer for, that will determine the data you collect. So after you must have collected the data might be in structured or unstructured form. In data analytics, we call something dirty data. By that dirty data, it means the data is not fit for use. That is, you cannot use the data in its messy form, in its raw form. It is not fit for you, so it probably needs you cleaning out data. And by cleaning out data, it probably means removing duplicates, removing white spaces, arranging the data the way it should be, removing maybe null values where there are empty spaces, correcting maybe the way the time is written. Maybe for a particular record, you recorded the date as date, month, and year. And in another record, you recorded it as month, date, and year. If you are trying to query that data, there will be conflicts in that data because of the way you recorded the data. So there will be a need for you to clean the data. That is, choose a consistent record of how you want to record the days. Maybe you want to record the days as date, month, and year. So it means it has to be consistent all through. So that is the process of cleaning your data. The process of cleaning your data, you want to remove anomalies, you want to maybe remove missing number, or in some cases make the missing number an average. You want to make sure that there are no anomalies in your data. You want to make sure that your data is correct and consistent. Because if you don't have a correct and consistent data, the results you will have would be it will show in the result you have, and that will affect your analytics. So you want to make sure that you have the best data possible. So after you must have done that, after you must have defined the question, you've collated the data, you've cleaned the data. The next thing, the next step now is now the part where you analyze your data, where you are able to like, okay, this is what I want. Okay, what is the minimum here? What is the maximum here? Who are the top customers? And all of those information. You analyze your data. You maybe in blockchain terms, you query your data to have that information. So it does not just end at analyzing your data. The next thing is you want to make your data in visual form. By making your data in visual form, it makes it like easier and seamless. I am going to use so let me just go to June, and I'm just going to make it um easier. Let me check. I'm trying to see. Okay, let me use one of the dashboard that I did. Okay, let's use this dashboard now. So for example, this is a Trojan reward. Trojan is giving a reward, whatever, whatever. And So I want to show the raw data. I want to show the raw data from, okay, this is much more easier. Let me look for another data that is very, very raw. So that I want to show, okay, let me see if this is, okay, this is trading volume of OpenSea. Now, okay, I think this is probably a good example. This is the trading volume of OpenSea, and this is, by the time the data is queried, this is the record you have. Based off this record that you have now, it is very hard for you to be able to comprehend or be able to create a proper understanding of this data, of these numbers. As much as this data has been analyzed and queried in that sense, you really cannot make sense of this data until you visualize the data. So in visualizing data, it makes it much more easier for you to understand. So based off this visualization now, we are easily able to see that, oh, they have like the highest trading volume in October, like October, so the weeks around October is like their highest record, because this data is visualized. Based on that number, it is very hard for you to see. So what data visualization, what it does is that it makes it easier for you to see the information that you've queried. So it makes it easier for you to represent the KPIs, all of the information, basically all the informations you want to see. It makes it easier for you to see, and it makes it easier for you to share too, because with the visualized data, I can easily send it to a layman and they're able to understand at first sight, they're able to understand what the information is that we have on those on that dashboard. So it does not just end at you sharing or visualizing your data. The next thing is you want to act on your findings. You want to act on what you've just you want to make a decision. Like I said the other time, analytics does not end at just visualizing or querying a data. It ends when you're able to make smart decisions. So you want to inform your clients, or you want to inform your customer, or you want to inform your stakeholders that based off this information that we have, these are some of the things I think we can do, maybe to improve what we have, probably to improve certain things. So you want to make informed decision. I mean, you want to act on the findings, on what you found out. You found out that there are low sales at this particular point. Maybe you now think, okay, I think I need to create ads, or I think I need to do marketing, or I think I need to reach out to certain people in certain area more. So that is what that is basically the core process of data analytics. So you start with defining your question, then you collate the data that you need, then you clean that data up. Then the next step is you analyze the data, then you visualize what you've just done. You visualize it in charts, in graph, or in numbers. Then the next thing is you act on what you have. So the skills you need as a competent data analytics, these are more like just few of the skills you need. Yeah. So one of the skills you need is you need to have a good sense of maths and statistics. Of course, it does not mean that you have to be so good or bad as in mathematics, but at every point in time, there's a need for calculation, there's a need for understanding, say, mean, median, mode, variance, all of those things. They come across around mathematics and statistics. So you need to be able to understand all of those basics. It is not beyond anybody. They are more like basics of maths and statistics, as the case may be. Then also, you also need to have knowledge of a programming language. In the course of this class, would be making use of SQL. SQL is a querying language. So you need to make use of a programming language, because I think for a start, a good number of people always start their analytics journey in Microsoft Excel, but Excel or Google Sheets or spreadsheets generally, they cannot contain the general form of analytics. So there is a need to understand a programming language to make it easier for you to analyze your data. And then you need to have an analytical mind in the sense of being able to ask questions like off the top of your head. Why is this thing like this? You should be able to notice and see patterns that normal people would not be able. Like, you should be very, very curious. You should be curious with, okay, why. You should be able to see things differently from the way other people see it. So you should always have an analytical mind. Then you have to be good at problem solving. The core of data analytics is trying to solve a problem. You want to solve a numbers problem. You want to help people to be able to see things where they are not seeing it. So you have to be a good problem solver. And also, you also have to be an excellent communicator, because it does not just end at you having a very, very badass dashboard, having a very, very good dashboard. You have to be able to communicate the information that you have on those dashboards, or you have to be able to communicate the data, what those numbers, what they represent, and the information your stakeholder actually need from that particular data or information. So these are basically like the basic introduction to data analytics and what you need to get started. So I'll be taking questions now. So if you have question, you can raise your hand. If you have question, I'm going to share this Notion board. I'm going to share. I think it's public. I'm going to share it in the chat box. Okay, I'm going to share it under resources, class resources. I'm going to share it. So we are going to start from there. So you can go through this again. This is more like in written form, so it's much more explanatory than the slide. I picked up the slide from there too, so you can easily go through it. So if you have questions, you can raise your hand. Okay, it seems we don't have anybody. Yeah, okay. I
Thank
think
you.
Jonathan asked me. Okay, Sandra, you have a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Um, Good evening again. Thank you so much for the class. My question is, throughout this class, are we going to use just SQL, or are we going to learn Python as well? And also, when you say Oracle, what does that mean?
Oracle is just a type of, I think it's a type of language for analytics. I don't think it is needed in the basic space right now. I think for the basic space, you basically just need SQL or Python. The reason I am not including Python right now, yeah, we are going to do something around Python, because I think at the point where we probably have to talk about API, where we probably have to make use of API, maybe collate data from an API source. I think we are going to make use of Python at that point in time. But I'm not sure we'll be able to go through the total scheme of Python throughout the course of this class. I think we have like 2 months for this class. That's like eight weeks. We have 8 weeks for this class, and I'm not sure we'll be able to like have enough time to take up everything we have in Python, but we'll be able to take up the basics. We'll be able to take up the basics in Python. We'll be able to take up how to load data in Python, like using basic Python query. Um, we'll be able to take that. We'll be able to take how to extract data from a particular source using APIs and the like. So we'll go a bit around Python, enough for us to understand the basics in Python actually. So does that answer your question?
I have one last question.
Yeah, you can. You can ask, please.
Okay, I want to be honest in this one. So one of the reasons why I decided to take this class is because the person that introduced Helicode to me, he gave me the impression that whatever I was going to learn here would make me job ready. Okay,
Okay.
so
So you want to
so
know if
my
what
my
you would learn here would make you job ready?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, very well. Very well. Very well. It's going to make you job ready. But of course, the thing with learning is that it does not stop. Like learning is not a one-time thing. For me, I've been on the data journey, like I said earlier. I've been on data journey for like 6 months. I mean, 6 years now, and I'm still learning every day, like at every point in time. So it's not just a one-stop thing. Yeah, but throughout the course of this class, I am going to equip you with the basics, as much as possible basics that you need to be at least ready, to at least be job ready, like in the job markets. You easily be able to take up projects. You easily be able to take up projects and like that. So you easily be able to take up analytics project when it comes to querying data, visualizing data, and the likes. You will easily be able to do that. So
Okay, thank you very
yeah,
much.
do you have any other question?
No, no, I don't. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other person with question? Any other person with question?
I have a question.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead, Jonathan.
So you said that we will use the SQL and Oracle and
No,
Python.
Python. Yes, 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 yes.
So which framework will be used into Python?
In Python, I've actually not decided the framework we are going to make use of in Python yet. But I think we are going to use the basic Python whatever. I've not decided which one because now I understand that the core people I have here are beginners. So I will have to tailor what we want to do in Python towards that. But for SQL, we are going to be making use of MySQL first. I think MySQL should be easier for everybody to get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I thank you, Mister.
Do you have another question? Any other question?
I want to ask another question about this question asked by this by
Okay.
Mr. Jonathan.
Okay, okay.
Um, you said that we must have knowledge about programming languages,
Okay.
course Oracle Python. Um, in this course, I want to ask you if you will get an occasion to study how to program is core Oracle in the Python. You will help us to know how to do this programming.
Yes, I will. So we are not taking.
Yeah.
So the Oracle I mentioned is just an example of programming language that is probably makes you make use of when it comes to analytics. But for this course,
Okay.
for this particular class, we are taking SQL majorly,
Mm-hmm.
then Python. So I would take us through querying data using SQL, then take us through the basics of Python too for data analytics too. So those are the two
Mm-hmm.
I can promise that we are going to be able to do in this class.
You said also that we must that we need to be good in math and statistics
Yes,
skills.
it's nothing serious.
Ah,
Okay, I'm listening to your question.
yeah. Yes, I want to know how we understand
How
math and the
serious?
statistics.
I know, I
So
know,
how serious?
I know, right? I know that by putting that, I know that it probably scares some people that, oh, I'm not good at maths. No, it's not anything serious. It's just the basic maths. Because with data, you deal with numbers, you deal with analytics, you deal with numbers. You are probably trying to look for the
Okay.
average, you are looking for the mean, you are looking for the median, and all of that. So, because we deal with numbers, it is very, very important that you at least understand those basics. You understand that this is what we are. For example, if you are talking about mean now, we are talking about median, we are talking about variance, you should at least be able to relate to some of those things. So, it's not like it's something serious. I mean, over the course of your
Mm,
journey as an analyst, you would be able to understand these things. So it's not like it's something so serious or so out of place that you cannot deal with.
okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're
Thank you
welcome.
very
You're
much.
welcome, Emily.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So any other person with question?
I have a teacher.
Okay, I'm listening.
So can you send us uh, PDF of today's lesson?
Yeah, I've sent it. If you check the resources, the data analytics resources, you would see
Already sent.
you.
Yeah,
Okay.
good question. Good question. Me also, I need the PowerPoint of this
Okay,
presentation.
this
Today's
PowerPoint. Okay,
present.
I'm going to share the PowerPoint, but I think
The
whatever is in the
PowerPoint.
PowerPoint
The
is
PowerPoint.
already in the notes
Yeah.
that I shared. But I'm going to share the PowerPoint
Yeah.
also. I'm going to share the PowerPoint.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So I'm sharing the PowerPoint soon now. But whatever is in the notes is even much more comprehensive than what you've seen in the PowerPoint already. So yeah. So any other person with question? Jane, do you have a question? Okay, if we don't have any question, I guess we are going to call it quit here. So, what I would just want us to do is to go through this material. I mean, the material I just sent, like what I explained throughout the course of the class, just to go through it again so that we understand perfectly the basics of analytics, of data analytics. Then we are going to build from there from next class. Is that okay by us?
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. So thank you, everyone. Um,
I
People
thank
lights, do you have anything to
you.
say?
Yeah, yeah, man. Thank you very much for taking this one. It was very interactive. I see that a lot of you finally unmuted your mic to ask questions. Yeah. So for next class, just an extra addition. I want them to have a take-home assignment
Okay,
that
yeah.
they'll be submitting during the next classes. You know,
Oh, yeah. I'm going to
so I
prepare.
want them to do that. And
That is prepared for next class, not this.
okay, great,
Yeah,
great, great. And if they can share the assignments also on social media and tag Helicode and Stella, because Stella is the one that sponsored most persons here.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
want that social media visibility and public proof of work.
Oh, okay, I will do that.
All right, all right, all right. So for others that came late today, please let's be punctual. Let's be right on time. I think the calendar reminds you of the class times. Just RSVP to it and it will DM you when it's time for the class. So please let's be punctual. Don't keep the instructor waiting. Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
for
you.
today's one.
All right, thank you, everyone. Good night, everyone.